Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a great day. And above all else, that you're indeed looking after yourselves and one another. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to another segment of Live Album Spotlight. This is a special two-part episode of Live Album Spotlight. The artist we're going to be talking about today is the incomparable David Bowie. And the album that we're going to be talking about in part one of Live Album Spotlight is Live at the Montreaux Jazz Festival, released on September 12th, 2025, as part of the I Can't Give Everything Away box set. The music for this recording was recorded on July 18th, 2002, as part of David Bowie's Heathen Tour, recorded at the Auditorium Stravinsky on Lake Geneva in Montreaux, Switzerland, released through Polyphone Records through Warner Music Distribution. There are 31 tracks in total. Now, the tracks that were played at the show cover the years 1971 to 2002. So from the album Hunky Dory to the latest release at the time, Heathen, with a whopping playing time of 2 hours and 37 minutes. Massive. Now, for any David Bowie fan, this would be considered a live greatest hits release. Now, when I say greatest hits, I do not mean the songs that were released as singles. I mean, any diehard David Bowie fan that loves the deep tracks, the album tracks, the classic tracks, this release is definitely for you. Now, playing with Bowie on this release and for this tour of Heathen at the time, you had Earl Slick on guitar, Jerry Leonard on guitars and keyboards, Mark Plati on bass guitar and keyboards, Gail Ann Dorsey on primary bass and vocals, Mike Garson, the legendary Mike Garson, on piano and keyboards, Sterling Campbell on drums, and completing the band, you have Catherine Russell on keyboards, percussion, and additional backing vocals. Now, as I said, this is considered to be, for any David Bowie fan, a probably a best of done live. And it's unfortunate that this recording remained unreleased up until 2025. But you know what? Better late than never. Now, this was for the tour to support the album Heathen. And I got to tell you, the representation of Heathen on this tour was well represented, let's say. Uh, Most bands, when they do a tour, to support an album. Yes, they'll play maybe four songs or five songs from their current album that they're supporting, and they usually play, greatest hits or, classic tracks from their catalog. But the representation again of Heathen is simply wonderful and prevalent. It starts off with the track Sunday from Heathen from 2002, clocking in at 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And I should also tell you that there is a video of this performance at the Montreaux Jazz Festival that is circulating on YouTube. It is listed as part one of the video. I have not been able to locate part two, but the video itself clocks in at an hour and 53 minutes and change. And just watching it, uh, hmm, mood and ambiance are two words that fit that are a fitting description for this performance. I noticed that there's a lot of use of blue light in the staging for the performance. Very somber, a very relaxed vibe for the whole show. And although the band are rocking out, David Bowie is his usual calm, suave, sophisticated self, and he does it so well. Sunday again starts off with Earl Slick leading the band in, using very textured guitar chords and notes that come in for the song. Wonderfully done, wonderfully done. And also, all these tracks are done in their full length form. There's no shortcuts or edits or medleys done. They're all done again in their full length form. Some have a bit of an improv here and there. Some are rearranged. But you know what? It's fantastic. After Sunday from Heathen, they launch into Life on Mars from Hunky Dory from 71, clocking in at 4 minutes and 50 seconds. And what I like about Bowie with this performance is he he dovetails between the present and the past effortlessly, wonderfully, beautifully done. Afterlife on Mars, which is an emotional performance for me. He launches into Ashes to Ashes from Scary Monsters and Super Creeps from 1980. An extended track, a little bit of improv here and there, clocking in at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Again, just under 6 minutes. Then he launches back into the Heathen uh, album with the track Cactus from the Pixies, written by Black Francis, again at 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Wonderful, just wonderful. Another Heathen track is next. Slip Away, uh, 5 minutes and 43 seconds. And the audience is just loving it. They're into it, they're screaming for more. Bowie looks very relaxed, very comfortable in his skin, comfortable in the situation that he's in with the band. He respects his band beyond belief, and he shows it during this performance. After Slip Away, they launch into China Girl, co-written by Bowie and Iggy Pop, originally featured on Iggy Pop's album The Idiot from 1977, which Bowie produced and played all of the instruments on. This is the Let's Dance version from '83, 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Wonderfully done. The band are into it. Between Sterling Campbell and Gaylan Dorsey, the rhythm section is locked in to one another. Just wonderfully done. And the audience are just eating it up. After China Girl, they go back even further into the catalog and they bring out Starman from the Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars from '72 at 4 minutes and 44 seconds. And again, the crowd don't know what to do with themselves. They're just going ballistic. And again, like I said, this is a rock concert, but it has a very much of a, sorry, I can't even speak today. It has a very relaxed vibe to it, you know. And the crowd are just having a fantastic time. After Starman comes uh, I Would Be Your Slave from Heathen again. Again, as I said, Heathen is very well represented. After I Would Be Your Slave comes a Neil Young cover of I've Been Waiting for You from Heathen. Again, 5 minutes and 19 seconds. This is just wonderful. Bowie had said that this was his favorite Neil Young song, as he said, growing up, quote unquote. After I've Been Waiting for You, they go back again into the catalog and they pull something out from the Station to Station album, the track Stay, at 6 minutes and 17 seconds. Again, Station to Station from '76. Funky as all bloody get out. Wonderful guitar work from Earl Slick. Uh, the the band are locked into one another. I mean, Sterling Campbell on drums, mic drop, forget about it. It is funk galore. And then they go back even further into the catalog, back to Hunky Dory with Changes at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. And I'm obviously this is a song about growing up and going through various identity changes and personality changes through your life, and where you'll end up, you'll never know with regards to who you are as a person. But you know what? Classic. The band are into it. The audience is going wild. And Bowie, again, is very comfortable with what is happening with the band and the audience. And he's talking to the audience big time. He is just into it and he's feeding off the energy from the crowd. And the crowd is feeding off from the energy of the band. And it's a good uh, meeting in the middle between the band and the audience. After Changes, you have the track Fashion, again from Scary Monsters and Super Creeps. And although the original studio recording is funky and like treated drums, etc., this version is just amped up that much more. Sterling Campbell on drums, another mic drop. He just goes for the jugular with regards to just keeping the rhythm going, keeping the drums and just on point. And again with Gaylan Dorsey on bass, wonderful, and backing vocals, I should say. After Fashion comes the track Fame from Young Americans, a co-write between Bowie, Carlos Alomar, and the late John Lennon, 4 minutes and 21 seconds. This is one of Bowie's favorite tracks, of course, co-written with his hero John Lennon from the Beatles, obviously. After Fame, they launched into I'm Afraid of Americans, co-write between Bowie and Brian Eno from Earthling, 5 minutes and 18 seconds. Wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. Heavy as all get out. CD1 ends with another track from Heathen called 5:15. The Angels Have Gone. 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Very poignant track. Wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. Um, I will say this before I continue. I'm guilty of, I do have the track, CD, Heathen, sorry, track. One of those days. I'm guilty of not giving Heathen enough of a listen and appreciating what is on this album. It is simply fantastic. Continuing on, disc 2 starts off with Heroes from the album of the same name from 77 at 6 minutes and 3 seconds. This is an emotional track uh, as part of, written with Brian Eno, the second album in the Berlin trilogy that has been spoken about many times. Wonderfully done, wonderful textured guitars, again from Jerry Leonard and Earl Slick on lead guitar. Wonderfully done, wonderfully done, and really emotional. And the audience are just eating it up. The main set ends with Heathen the Rays, again from Heathen. Uh, again, 6 minutes and 8 seconds. Wonderfully performed musically. It is just lush and textured and just done brilliantly. That is the end of the main set. 17 tracks in total. There are two encores that come. The first encore consists of 4 songs, and it's got to be said, Bowie likes to tease the audience. Okay, and at first he says, "Okay, we're going to do one more song and go." Then he says, "Oh, okay, we'll do 2, maybe 3," and he keeps putting on and goes, "Okay, we'll do 4 more songs and that's it." And then he says, "Okay, we'll see where we go from there." Okay, the encore number 1 begins with Everyone Says Hi, again from Heathen, 5 minutes and 7 seconds. This song is my favorite from the album. It stands out to me. I'm not sure if this was ever released as a single. I do believe it was in some territories. It is simply beautiful. It is so beautiful, and it is melodic as all get out. After Everyone Says Hi, they launch into Hello Space Boy from Outside from 1995, 5 minutes and 26 seconds. Brutal, brutal, heavy drums and percussion, courtesy of Sterling Campbell. Wonderfully done. Heavy as all get out. And you know what? The crowd are eating it up. And then there's a bit of a change up. They launch into Let's Dance from the album of the same name, 6 minutes and 35 seconds. However, there's a bit of a change up here, as I said. The intro to the track is slowed down, has a bit of a, I would say, bossa nova rhythm to it, with just very slow rhythmic percussion, very prominent acoustic guitar. They probably brought the acoustic guitar up in the mix. Again, very prominent, very intricate, wonderfully done. And then they launch into the actual track and just go for it. Encore 1 ends with a wonderful rendition of Ziggy Stardust from The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and Spiders from Mars at 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Beautiful. The band say goodbye, they leave, they come back to perform Encore 2. Encore 2 is the performance of the 1977 album Low in its entirety, sorry, or almost. The original studio recording of Low had 11 tracks. They perform 10 of the 11 tracks from the album. Low, again, being the first part of the Berlin trilogy, followed by Heroes, and then by Lodger in 1979. starts off with a wonderful version of Warsawa, my favorite track from the album. Wonderfully textured synths. I'm not sure if there's the use of Chamberlain on this version, as was on the 1978 version on stage, but it is wonderfully done. Slightly stripped down. Slightly stripped down. Up next is the track Speed of Life, the instrumental. 2 minutes and 54 seconds. They launch into Breaking Glass, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Wonderfully done. Again, a lot of the songs on Low were quite short, 2 minutes and change. And it was considered to be Bowie's most experimental album at the time of release in 77. In fact, RCA didn't want to release it at first, but they had no choice but to release it. After Breaking Glass, they launched into What in the World, 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Wonderful. Again, high energy track, just wonderfully performed. The band are on point. Then they launch into Sun and Vision, that Bowie had announced it was the biggest hit from the album. I like Sun and Vision. I liked it for its minimalist uh, arrangement and recording, and it continues the same way done live. What I like about this version of it is Mike Garson is allowed to break into a piano solo, which Bowie announces, and he's allowed to take the stage and take a piano solo. And Mike Garson is known for his jazz chops on the piano. And when Mike Garson takes a solo, there was this story of Whitney Houston said, told by, Luther Vandross that whenever Whitney Houston took a solo, the chandelier fell. Same thing for Mike Garson. What I like about Mike Garson's playing, keep wanting to say Mike Garson. What I like about Mike Garson's playing is that whatever's being played on top, like a rock track or an avant-garde piece, he always has jazz overtones in his piano playing, and very sprawling, very just very finesse kind of playing. Wonderfully done, a wonderful touch on the piano, and you can tell that Bowie had tremendous respect for Mike Garson to have him on this tour and have him a part of his band over the years. After Sound and Vision, you have Art Decade at 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Oh boy, wonderful version of this piece. Uh, the next track, Always Crashing in the Same Car, at 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Again, just this is Bowie at his best, and I like the fact that he chose to perform an album relatively, pretty much, I was going to say relatively obscure. Yeah, I would say that. Very much obscure in almost in its entirety. Wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. Up next, we have the track Be My Wife, the second single from Low. Again, 3 minutes and 6 seconds. High energy galore, you know. Track 15 is the piece A New Career in a New Town at 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Again, pretty much close to the original recording done in the studio. The set ends with the track Subterraneans at 7 minutes and 32 seconds. Now, Bowie, as he introduces the song, that out of all the songs were recorded for Low, this one at the time meant the most to him. And he thanks the audience for coming, for giving him such a warm welcome. And he says, good night. We'll see you soon, some other time, some other place, but we will see you soon. And that's the show. Again, what I like about this performance, yes, it's a concert, it's a rock show, but there is, again, a really relaxed vibe and feel about it. That you could sit back, turn off the lights, close your eyes, and you're off on a ride, right? On a wonderful voyage. And you don't know where you're going to end up, But you know what? You're all the better for taking the trip and taking the chance. So there you have it, guys. Live at the Montreaux Jazz Festival from David Bowie as part of part one of our live album spotlight. Please put down in the comments what you think of this album. This album, again, is, as I said at the top of the episode, is a part of the I Can't Give Everything Away box set on CD. However, there is a standalone vinyl version on double vinyl, and you can get it on Discogs. You can get it on Amazon.ca, .com, .uk, .uk, yes. And you can also check your local record stores to see if they have either the box set or the standalone version of the concert on double vinyl. It's available in double black vinyl and double gray colored, smoky gray colored vinyl. And yeah, that's it for now. Please click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content I've got coming up. I've got a part two coming up of Live Album Spotlight featuring David Bowie. And the album that we're going to be talking about in part two, is A Reality Tour, resequenced and remastered by one Tony Visconti. All right, stay tuned for that. Also, we have more shows that we're working on, and we're going to bring them to you as soon as you possibly can. Please look after yourselves and one another. Please click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content we've got coming up. And we are now on X, so please follow us on X. I can't speak today. What else is new? Anyway, guys, have a great day. Look after yourselves. Bye for now.